Good morning, friends, and welcome. Let's start our class today off with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Guru Preceptors, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Master Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Beloved Lahiri Mahashaya, bless us during this time of thy birth. Help us to feel thy presence, thy guidance, thy love and joy in our hearts. We honor thee. We bow to thee again and again. Bless our satsang today with thy divine presence. Om Shanti Shanti. So we'll hear now a song by Swamiji, Blessed the Life, and then an excerpt from a talk by Swami Kriyanandaji about Lahiri Mahashaya, whose birth anniversary is tomorrow.
Somebody here in the community was asked if he would like to be a part of the householder versus monks game, and he was a householder, but I guess the monks needed someone, and his answer was very strongly to say, "I'm a householder." And my answer to that is that we should not identify ourselves in any way except as devotees of God. I'd like to see this be really a monastic community of householders as well as non-householders. That we understand that our purpose is not to live in an outward way, but to live for God, regardless of the outward. Ganesha had a very amusing and yet perfectly valid objection to Lahiri Mahashaya's life as an example to householders. He said that, yes, he was a householder, but he spent 24 hours a day in Samadhi. And even when he... Even when he worked, even when he did those years that he spent fulfilling his obligations as a householder, even then, his real path was that of non-involvement. I mean, what are the stories we know of him? His wife one time complaining that he wasn't bringing in the bacon, or the vegetarian counterpart to the bacon. And the next thing she knew, he'd vanished. Then finally, when she pleaded with him to appear, he appeared on the ceiling. Let's face it, he was not your average householder. I've written a book, as you know, on how to spiritualize your marriage, and this book is I think that whole subject, whether the book does the job or not, the subject is important to help people wherever they are to understand how to get along better, how to be more harmonious. I'm hoping that our couples will help to give that kind of example. But the most important thing for us to understand is that the spiritual path, if we really want to know God, is one of withdrawing identification with the ego, withdrawing the soul's identification with the ego, withdrawing our identification with the thought of I and mine, and just giving our thought and consciousness wholly to God. Lahiri Mahashaya, his statement about this, which I read in his diary, was to listen to the Anahat Dhuni, which is to say, the Anahat means the chakra of the heart, the sound emanating from the heart, and he's really speaking of not just that bell sound, which yogis know comes from the heart, but of the Om sound itself. He said, to listen to the Anahat Dhuni is the only work that has been given to man. In other words, whether we are householders or monks or just single, our real thing is not to define ourselves in terms of our outward action, but to purify our hearts and to get closer to God.
Good morning again. So wonderful to hear Swamiji and all the joy at the satsang that was happening then. And this life of Lahiri Mahashaya, what an incredible incarnation when you step back and look at it, because he was an avatar. He came for a particular purpose, to demonstrate, to show the example that one could be a yogi and live in this world, but still have a family, have children, have responsibilities. And just think of the story of when he was in the Himalayas and he met Babaji when he was 33 years old. He was already married, and Babaji so lovingly welcomes him and says, I've been waiting for you all these years. And he pours his love out to Lahiri Mahashaya. You can see how close they were, guru and disciple. And Babaji asks him to purify himself. And then afterwards, he gives him Kriya Yoga Diksha after creating a golden palace with all kinds of gemstones, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, everywhere. And Lahiri Mahashaya was just completely absorbed in the love. This is the thing that strikes me the most, the love of his guru. And then his guru gives him, Babaji gives him Kriya. And afterwards he says, now you must be hungry. So he manifests something for him to eat. He said, think whatever you want and just put your hand in this vessel and it will be there. And so Lahiri Mahashaya, it's an incredible day for him. He doesn't know quite what's all going on the outward level, but he puts his hand in the vessel and he whatever he desires, he eats and he drinks. No, afterwards, Babaji says, now you must be thirsty. And he says, he looks at the vessel again and he thinks, I'm going to drink from that. And then there's pure water in there. I mean, what is he doing? He's showing him his love, and he's awakening him to his responsibility in this world, his duty, his destiny, why he has come on earth. He's awakening him. And of course, Lahiri Mahashaya doesn't want to leave. Who would want to leave? And Babaji says, no, 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 no. You cannot stay. You have to go. It is your destiny now. And this is how Babaji, Lahiri Mahashaya, all the gurus are saying to us, it is your destiny to go out and show the example that you can meditate every day. You can be in a high state of awareness and consciousness. You can do your duties with joy. You can have love in your heart. You can be a beam of light and still walk through this world. And so Lahiri Mahashaya was sent back. Babaji said, go back to your family. Go back to your wife, go back to your job, go back to your responsibilities, go back home. And surely Lahiri Mahashaya was longing to stay with his guru. And that's how it is for us. We're wondering, why are we here? What am I doing here? Where is my guru? How long am I here? And Master is just drawing us, saying, but you must do your duty in life. You must fulfill your responsibilities. You must fulfill your destiny in this world, and you must eliminate all vestiges of karma. So Lahiri Mahashaya came to show he didn't have to do that. He was already free, but he came to show the example in our lives, modern times, that yes, you can be in God consciousness, and you can have a family, and you can have a job. I remember someone said to me once, well, you're so happy all the time, Dhyanaji, because you don't do anything. All you do is chant Om all day. And I said, you have no idea what kind of life I have. And that person surely wasn't doing nearly as much as Divine Mother had given me to do. And for all of us, we're in this world, but we cannot be of the world. So what did Lahiri Mahashaya give us? He gave us the example, 3 different things to live by, to bathe ourselves in, to uplift our consciousness in. And one, it was Lahiri Mahashaya who asked Babaji, once he had Kriya, he said, can I not give this to others who are struggling? First, Babaji said, only give it to those who are complete renunciates. And Lahiri Mahashaya asked his guru, can I not give this to others? There's so much need. It was him who said that. And Babaji said, be it so, the divine has spoken through you. Give Kriya to all who humbly ask. And so the first blessing, gift that Lahiri Mahashaya gave to us was Kriya Yoga. To do Kriya, he said, solve every problem through Kriya Yoga. Don't talk about it, worry about it, cry about it, go to somebody about it. He said, practice Kriya every time. And how many people do that? People, what am I going to do? Oh, my. I mean, we have to live by his example. Practice Kriya. And what does Kriya do? Solve every problem through Kriya. Lifts up your consciousness, expands your awareness, gives you solutions, gives you more energy, gives you more magnetism, gives you Shakti, gives you the guru's power, gives you attunement, solving every problem. A problem with your wife, problem with your husband, problem with the kids, problem with the job, problem with the school, problem with your health. There's so many problems. Every day there's a different problem. But if we practice Kriya every day, we'll just be eliminating the delusion, the Maya of this world through the power of Kriya, which is blessed by Lahiri Mahashaya, all of our gurus. He said, Lahiri Mahashaya came to someone in a dream, by the way, and gave them Kriya. People say, well, I don't feel his presence. What's your own difficulty? He said, I'm with all those who practice Kriya Yoga. Wow, that is quite a statement. I'm with all those who practice Kriya Yoga. So as you practice, open yourself and get the problems dissolved through your practice of Kriya and the blessings of the gurus. Secondly, Lahiri Mahashaya showed a sense of freedom that, yes, I have these duties. Yes, I have the responsibilities, but I'm not attached. Even if you are attached, affirm that you're not attached. Just say, no, Divine Mother's given me these children. She's given me this house. She's given me this job. She's given me these things, but just offer yourself every day. We had a wonderful retreat just the other day. It was so blissful in honor of Lahiri Mahashaya's Mahasamadhi on Sunday. First time in the center, really, that a group of us had come together for several hours praying, meditating, energizing, doing yoga, doing Kriya, listening to the voice of the gurus, listening to Swamiji and attuning ourselves. And boy, coming out of there, you're just right in tune. This needs to happen to feel a sense of freedom. We had a fire ceremony as well. Om Swaha, I offer myself, I offer myself. And he showed that sense of freedom no matter what your responsibilities are. Every night, make a mental bonfire, Swamiji said, and toss everything into that mental bonfire. It's not who I am. This job is not who I am. This relationship is not who I am. This health problem is not who I am. I remember one of my friends, Ramani, she had a difficult surgery. This was here in India. And then afterwards, she was suffering for a long time. And most of it, I think, was mental. I'm not sure. But anyway, she finally, Swamiji called her and she was saying, yes, Swamiji, I have this problem. And Swamiji said, Ramani, you are well. And she got well immediately. And so we have to remember, even an illness, it's just coming by and it's leaving. Don't wallow in it. And finally, Lahiri Mahashaya showed the sense of balance in work and our spiritual life. He worked 25 more years after meeting Babaji. And you get people saying, no, I don't want to go to my job. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. I just want to find a cave. Well, your cave is at your house. He worked 25 more years as an accountant, knowing, being in samadhi, being in super consciousness and super conscious states as he was at work. And so follow that example of balance. There was a man Swamiji met who, he said, I think this was in Canada, and he said, oh, yes, when I come home, that's when my life begins, my spiritual life. I come home from work, I take my bath, and I put on my dhoti, and then I go into my meditation room. That's when my spiritual life begins. And Swamiji thought, what a waste! You waste a whole day. Come on. Every day, all day, do japa, think of God, have a picture, have one of the books with you, chant. I love it when I go to Gurgaon. I think all the drivers know all of Swamiji's songs. I just sing all the way. I sing all the way there. I sing all the way back. Bring God into your daily life and let us honor Lahiri Mahashaya by living an example of what he came to bring. Otherwise, why put a garland on the picture in the murti? That garland should be in your own heart. What he became, he came to show me I can become that. That is my destiny. And that is what Lahiri Mahashaya came on this earth to bring. God bless you all. Let's meditate a moment on this great master, feeling his blessings with you now. Mentally chant Om Lahiri Mahashaya, Om Lahiri Mahashaya, Om. Shanti, shanti, shanti. I'll ask my friend Nitendra now to join me on the screen with the questions.
I'll just share the questions. The first one is, Dhyanaji, how can I feel Lahiri Mahashaya's presence in my meditation and in my life more and more?
I think one, as you meditate, really meditate with the thought of him. You may need to open your eyes, look at his picture or Murti, and just talk to him. Chant his name like we just did. Do japa, feeling him coming into your whole body. Swamiji used to tell us, take one of the masters per week and meditate on them. Feel their presence, or per month. And so take the time to really, you can read about Lahiri Mahashaya here, talks about like we did today, but more than anything, in your own heart, just ask him to help you with Kriya. Ask him to help you in your life. Ask him to help you with freedom. Ask him to help you to be more balanced. You can't help but feel his presence then.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question is, as Lahiri Mahasaya used to recommend that we can solve every problem through Kriya, how can we do that, and what does it really mean?
Yeah, I think I answered that to a great deal, but as you do Kriya every day, you are solving all your problems. If you have more difficulties and you feel like they're larger or you can't work on them, you can do Kriya thinking of that problem. Swamiji told us to offer that problem to God and then bring God's blessing back with the when you do Kriya. Maybe some people aren't Kriya bonds, but Kriya bonds will understand that each Kriya offer the difficulties. Bring God's light into your life, and you will feel that every time you do Kriya, just feel more free. I'm more free. I'm more uplifted. My problems are dissolving. But one thing about it is you have to also mentally and willfully release them. So many people hang on. They do Kriya, but they're still hanging on to the worries and the problems. And I love that story of that woman. I've said it many times, with the woman who came to Master, and she said she had the surgery. And every time she came for counseling, she talked about the surgery. Finally, he said, well, when was the surgery? And because she said it was so painful, and I'm just painful. She said, 20 years ago. He said, you're still getting operated on every day since 20 years? And so there has to be a desire to be free. If you feel, no, I'm not free, that's why Master said every day, read something or memorize samadhi, feel like I am free, I am free. That's why we have affirmations. But if you want to be weak, you want to have problems all the time, you want to wallow in them, go for it. Nobody's stopping you. But if you say, no, I want out, I'm looking for the exit, Divine Mother will push you to that exit. So not only doing Kriya, thinking of Kriya is doing it by itself, it's not. You, the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. Master says specifically about meditation and Kriya. And so if you do it with that way, you can certainly feel freedom. I've seen so many things go by the wayside. They're just not there anymore. But I didn't want them to be there. Remember, Swamiji said one thing he was dealing with, and he just said, it was bothering him so much. He said one day in his meditation, he just said, get out! And the thing just left forever. You got to be a warrior. You can't be wimpy on the path. Just, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. You have to get your energy moving. And so as you do that with Kriya combined, you can get rid of any problem. I remember one line of Master, he said, you and danger were born together, but you are more dangerous than danger. Isn't that a great line? You and danger were born together, but you're weaker than danger. You're more dangerous than danger. And so put yourself into it. Don't sit on the couch thinking God's going to help me. I never found that worked. Until you get up and get going yourself, you won't find that there's a lot of help to get you out of the delusions of problems.
Thank you, Mamaji. The next question is, I feel that I fall short of being a perfect yogi at times, and so I get discouraged. How can I overcome that feeling?
I mean, who's a perfect yogi? Everybody's trying. You just have to keep getting up. You fall down, you keep getting up. And the one thing you don't want to be is discouraged, because discouragement draws your energy down. It just completely saps you. And so if things aren't working out right, and you don't feel like you feel that anger is still there, or fear is still there, or worry is still there, it takes a while. And also life has rhythms. And so don't think so much about yourself. I think that's the answer. Don't be so self-involved. Well, what about me? Well, what about that? What about, just leave it. Have faith in Master. Do your best. He's the guru, not you. And let him take care. Let him take charge of your life. Like in the purification, the Master says, open your heart to me, and I will enter and take charge of your life. So be less self-involved. I see people always taking a picture of themselves and, this, and it's all on the social media, And just, as a yogi, you want to do less of that. Shall I put it nicely? You want to do less of that, not more. And so as you do that, you'll find that you find things just going away, and you feel more centered in yourself. But don't fan the flames by doing more of those outward things that aren't good for you. Wrong company, wrong people, wrong drink. I remember Swamiji told someone who was drinking a lot and socially, and she said, I like drinking, and I love Swamiji's answer. She said, but I don't really, he said, it's not good for you. It's not who you are, but it's tamasic. So his answer was this. I just love it. He said, put something else in the glass. Isn't it? You're at a party, everybody's drinking liquor. You don't have to, why are you letting somebody tell you what to do? Put something else and get some water with ice in it. Nobody knows what's going on. I love that answer. Put something else in the glass. And so every situation you're in, think, what would Master do? What would Master approve of? What would Swamiji do? And then you'll find that their powers, they're helping you.
We have 2 more questions, Dhyanaji.
Okay.
The first is, how can I balance my work and home life? It's not that easy, perhaps.
Yeah, that's not very easy. But I remember Swamiji telling one lady who she had a small child, and the child was just taking all her energy. And he said, you have to see your child now as your sadhana. There are times in your life when you have a lot of responsibilities. You're very busy at work. You have small children. You can't leave them. And I remember it was Daviji said too, that when their child was very small, that she said, every time I would just, he'd even be sleeping, but every time I would just pull off and just go try to meditate, the child would start crying because they could feel I was pulling my energy away. And so you can't do that. You have to give as you can. And how you're going to balance that? Meditation. You've just got to meditate as maybe it's 5 minutes. Who knows? If you don't have an excuse, 5 minutes isn't going to do it. But I remember living in Italy at the beginning. Nobody knew how to meditate. When we first went there, we were teaching people, and we hardly meditated at all. I used to meditate a lot before that. All of us did. And all we did was chant, 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 because people couldn't meditate. Okay, 10-minute meditation, chant, chant. And I went to Swamiji. I said, Swamiji, we never meditate here. All we do is chant. And he said, you need to chant. So that was my answer. 7 years, I chanted. But then when I came back to Ananda village, I was put in responsibility for the Kriya Sangha. So I had to meditate. So you'll find times when you feel like, oh, I'll never get back balance. It's a long rhythm. Take your time. Don't be impatient and keep offering to Master. Is this what you want? Is this what you want me to do? Let him take charge. He'll guide you rightly.
Just a related and a final one, Dhyanaji. My spouse or children need more attention than I feel I have.
Oh,
I want to meditate more. So how do I work with this dilemma?
acha, that's probably a question for a lot of people, huh? Well, there are needs that people have. I mean, you can't not be with your family and say, now I'm a yogi and I don't have anything to do with you. You need to give them energy. They need to feel your love, feel your support, feel your encouragement. They need to feel that you're there. So maybe you have your sadhana earlier. Now, no one wants to hear that. Get up earlier. How about that? And you can have your sadhana then. Or if early doesn't work, maybe stay up late and have your sadhana then. But also, Master said, when you're with people, be with them wholeheartedly. When you're with God, be with God wholeheartedly. And so your family, I mean, you have to show that you love them. Don't just say, no, I'm a yogi. Let's stay in the house all the time. Now people can get out a little bit. Take your family on trips. Go somewhere where they enjoy it. You enjoyed with them. Everyone's having a nice time together. Don't get so austere that nobody in the family likes you anymore. No, it's just a yogi. And I remember I came back from Ananda village and I was living back with my family for a while. And I said, at Ananda village, these are the foods we eat and these are the foods we're going to eat here. We're not going to eat anything else. At Ananda village, we did this exercise. We're going to do that here. We're not going to do it. And we're going to do yoga every day. I remember my little sister, she was trying her best to become a vegetarian because I was a vegetarian. Everybody needs to be a vegetarian. My poor family. So my other sister said, because one of my sisters, I loved her to death, but she only was a vegetarian for a day. And my other sister said, Carla had a hamburger. I mean, so don't go to extremes where everybody's got to be like you. They don't want to be like you, honestly. They don't. And so just be yourself. Let them be who they are. They have their own karma. The kids have their own karma. Your wife, your husband, they all have their own karma. Your parents, their grandparents. It's amazing that people get along at all, really, when you think about it. So basically, meditate as you can. Think harmony rather than, oh, I'm going to get them and they don't know who I really am. Well, you're nobody. So just think harmony. Think blessings on your family. Pray for them. Chant Om, that everything go well for them. And don't cut yourself off from your family. It's not yogic for us living where we are in the situations that we're in with responsibilities. And I know someone, I said this, I'll close with this, told me I lived in caves in past lives, and I totally feel in sync with that, honestly. But it's not this life. The cave now is a house, and the sadhana is in the house. So don't dream of something that's not a reality in this lifetime. Live your life the best you can, finish your karma, and get free. I think that's the blessing of it. And I would like to close with this reading from Swamiji. Lahiri Mahashaya said when he died, he would spend time with Babaji in the Himalayas and Babaji in the cosmos. Lahiri Mahashaya is living with Babaji right now in the Himalayas. He too is in a physical form, and it would be good to think of him as having a physical form and being there in a way. It makes it somewhat more real. But remember, ultimately, what he has come into this world to do is not to show you who or what he was, but to help you know more and more deeply the sense of freedom you carry within yourself. You have to do your part in this world, and you have to do it the best you can. But remember, There is an ulterior motive for all spiritual work, and that motive, the bottom line on the spiritual path, is freedom and the infinite. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful celebration of Lahiri Mahashaya's birthday. God bless you. Bye-bye.